Welcome to that time of year, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the broadcast. Sorry for no stream yesterday or earlier today. I wasn't feeling it. You know how it is. I only stream when I catch a vibe. Makes for the best streams. Oh my god, it's time for the Connor Eats Pants. Yep. I don't think I'm gonna get drunk. I haven't been drinking lately. Maybe I'll get like high this time, just so that the kids in the chat are appeased and hope and know that the streamer is inebriated in some way, shape, or form. Because it seems like some of you motherfuckers can't enjoy anything I restream unless I'm intoxicated during it. Some of you guys don't. That's a dangerous pattern, by the way. That's a dangerous slippery slope to go down. Some of you need to reconsider that. Some of you are too young to be thinking that way. They're calling this stream of the year. Really? Are they saying that? Drugs are bad. I agree. I agree. We got drops enabled today. Get your skins for Fall Guys. Get your Fall Guys skins today during today's presidential debate. You can get Republican or Democrat or Independent skins for your Fall Guys character. So yeah, enjoy. I got my Robert F. Kennedy skin. Oh wow, congrats, bro.
Doesn't matter if I'm intoxicated, I'll watch stream.
Connor, I'm watching the Bears, so I have to miss. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I baited on Twitter today. I kind of baited a bit. I haven't even seen the new episode of The Boys. I just already know it's probably dog shit. But I tweeted this. I tweeted this just to piss people off today. Oh wait, hold on. It's on the Switch.
Caught.
It's actually good this week. Bro, too many people were saying that about last week, bro. I don't believe you, man. I don't believe you. There were way too many people acting like last week's episode of The Boys wasn't the worst thing ever made. Like, too many people were acting like it wasn't dog shit. Hold on. We're going through a tunnel. I'm not and I'm not backing down on this opinion. I just refuse to do it. I am fully confident that episode 4 of The Boys was so bad that that I'm objectively correct. Objectively, I will not back down. And hey, maybe episode 5 is good.
Need that Joe
Maybe new doc stuff came out. Someone was saying he got arrested. I don't believe that. That sounds unbelievable. Yo, Kian got a membership on YouTube now. Finally, the moderator is a member. Maybe I'll add more emotes to YouTube now. Maybe. I'll think about it at least. I had to take out a loan for that. It's $5. I've been a member, but okay. Oh. I thought you weren't gifted. He was messaging a trans sex worker. Oh, I did see that. I did see that. That's interesting. That's interesting. Is Lil Pump Fortnite Friday tomorrow? He hasn't replied to my DM today, so I don't think so. I think he has a concert. I had a chatter message me and say, please don't do Fortnite Friday with him on Friday. I have a ticket to his concert. So at least a chatter will see him. At least a chatter will. Check the recent Nickmercs tweet. Let's check it out. Connor News Network reporting in.
To stay focused. I take Quaaludes 10 to 15 times a day for my back pain. Adderall to stay focused.
Good AI, good AI,
to
bro.
Take the edge off, pot to mellow me out, cocaine to wake me back up again, and morphine, well.
Wait, Joe seems mad chilling that shit though. And honestly, if Joe Biden's lighting up and geeking a bit, I think that helps his case in my eyes. Like for Gen Z, that helps. Like I don't really gaff, dude. I really don't gaff. Like, if that's what he needs to get through this, enjoy a bit, bro. Enjoy your night. Take your shit. Like, why do I give a fuck? Both of them are, like, terrible. Both of them are terrible candidates. Like, I'd rather him win so that, you know, my marginalized friends don't, like, suffer. Me as a straight white guy and, you know, affluent, coming from a pretty lucky family, you know, it doesn't impact me too much, but it's the least I can do to support old Joe.
Can't wait to see Robert
But I won't
Kennedy
lie.
Jr. tonight.
If Trump is dropping zingers, like, I'm gonna have to give it to him. I'm gonna have to concede the debate if Trump is dropping hits. That's just how I am. Like, I'm on the side of the comedy, and if he's hitting, he's hitting. Daily Wire Plus is streaming. Wait, Daily Wire. Let's see the Daily Wire Plus
The
stream.
CEO of Aliva did this himself, commissioned this himself to thank you, to congratulate you, and to thank you for the
I
successful
love these
launch of
guys.
Mayflower.
These are the
Well, yeah,
best.
thank you to Corey, and thank you to Jeremy, and thank you to
These
everyone
guys
who's
are so
gotten a
cool.
Mayflower cigar. That's fabulous.
And now there's one more
Wow.
thing I'm supposed to hold up.
They're always smoking cigars so that you know that they're like cool men.
Truth bombs. And
They're
in
like,
our
we
Daily
are
Wire store, we like to
manly
sell
men,
truth bombs, but
and
now
you
we're
are not
selling-
because
I'm not
we
making this
smoke
up,
cigars
an
and are cool.
actual gold truth bomb. And by
On the
actual gold, I
Hassan
mean
stream,
it
they're
is made
rolling
of gold
blunts,
from our
bro. Y'all
partners
gotta step it
over
up.
at
The
Birch
kids don't
Gold.
care.
We've been in business with Birch Gold since the very beginning of the company. I think they were technically our
Team
very
D-Dub, what does
first
that mean?
advertising
What does
partner.
this mean?
It's been a great relationship.
dropped
we've had with these guys.
$100 to
They have
Daily
paid to
Wire.
diversify and get into the gold
Imagine
game,
donating
but if you do it
$100 to
tonight,
Daily
we'll talk
Wire,
more about
dude.
it after the debate. You will have the opportunity to
What are
lay
you
your
doing?
hands on your very own gold truth bomb.
Donald
against
Wump?
this. I'm gonna
Oh,
be honest.
Daily Wire,
I'm gonna hand this
DW.
to
I
you, and you will
see.
immediately know why I'm against it.
I thought it
Someone
was
will be murdered with our solid gold
Dexter's
truth bomb.
sister.
This will be-
That wasn't
this
even
will
that
actually
funny.
be in
But
future
Dexter's Lab
iterations of the game
reference for anybody who's
It'll
20
be
plus in the chat.
the Jewish talking head with the gold truth bomb on the backstage set. Like,
Only
that'll
way
be
I
the-
won't punch something while watching
I'm not
this
kidding.
shit.
I mean,
Thank you, Connor. Yeah, no problem, bro.
Pray that's the truth.
Bro
Gold is
paid
not
for the
white.
gold
Because
truth bomb.
behold,
Oh,
as
I
my
get it.
people
It's a
know,
truth bomb.
This is exactly the sort of truth bomb that you would want were you to want a truth
Can I
bomb.
chat? How long do I have
So
to be a
we will get
subscriber?
into
10
exactly
weeks
how
or
you get one of these a little
longer?
bit later
Oh,
on.
come
Definitely.
on, dude.
It really is a big night, all joking aside.
Come on. I was going to
And
type in the chat. I was be like,
the
Dad
stakes
hits
are
me.
incredibly high for both of these guys.
I was just
think
gonna
the
like do
stakes
like
are
a
higher
domestic
for
abuse bit
Joe
in the
Biden. I think
chat
we were all
for the
kind of agreeing
fans,
about
but
that backstage. Let's talk a little bit
unfortunately,
about what people can
they won't
expect.
let us. I have to
Okay,
wait
so
10 weeks.
I obviously agree with the proposition that this is a bigger lift for Joe Biden, mainly because if the dynamics of the race
EW was
stay the same,
Arthur's
then
sister.
Donald Trump is going to win. Right now, he's leading in the
Oh,
national
wait,
polling. According to
you're
Nickmercs
right.
and the New York Times got about a
EW
4-point
is
national
Arthur's
lead, which is
sister's.
outside the
Dee Dee
margin
is
of error.
Dexter's
He's
sister.
leading outside the margin of error
Oops.
in Nevada. He's leading in
Oops.
Arizona, in Georgia. He's leading outside the margin of error now in Michigan, according to
Dude,
many
Ben
of the new
Shapiro
polls.
is so
He's still
cool.
within the margin of error in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, but he's running fairly
Any
even
good
in those
money
particular
lines
states.
on
If the map
tonight's
stayed that way, he
debate?
would win the election.
Why are we
the
watching
map is
Ben
broader for
Shapiro?
Trump
Who else would we
than it is
watch?
for Joe Biden. And the problem is that the factors that are leading
I
to
like
that
how
are
my
not
YouTube
going to
stream,
change
Fall
unless
Guys
Joe Biden actively
stream.
changes those factors.
No, I crack
And what
myself
I mean
up,
by
man.
that is that
I'm too
he's been
funny,
such a
dude.
bad president.
I'm too funny for these websites. I got too good of jokes, man. Someone's got to be paying me. You think Ben knows Chappelle Roan? I don't think so. I don't even know. I don't even know, dude. I always thought you were an enlightened centrist type. I am, bro. Have you seen this? Let's see. It's Chapel? No, it's Dave Chappelle Roan. This is the best show of all time. Wait, what the fuck? I gotta watch this. What the fuck? Oh, I just realized I wasn't showing you. Hold on. Is the full thing on X? Can I stream it? The new norm. How do I pull up the new norm? I want to watch it. Where is it? How do I see? Oh, here we go. The South Park of X. Legalize humor. Check the mini pilot of the first animated sitcom on X, featuring Larry Elder, Dave Rubin, and JP. I don't know who any of those people are besides Dave Rubin, with a special guest from Elon Musk. I love X, dude.
What's that?
Progress. It's the new norm.
He's drinking gay beer? Hell nah, dude. Won't catch me.
I'm the old Norm. I want normal beer.
Warning, warning, perimeter reached.
Ugh. It's your fault I got house arrest.
You're the one who threatened the school board.
I gently suggested
Yelled.
they stop brainwashing my
Where's
daughter.
McKenna?
That
She
girls
voices
aren't
the
girls
woke
and
girl.
Men aren't men.
Sometimes they're neither, or both, or furry and dressed like dogs.
Ow!
Why is he on, what is even ankle monitor?
What's that?
Warning, offensive. Actually, that is one of my pronouns. Also, they, them, and
Is it,
me.
why is Dave Rubin voicing?
Non-binary?
Why is Dave Rubin voicing the
I
non-binary?
learned
Hold
it in
on.
school.
There's so much going on, and the daughter is in love with them because they're non-binary. I don't think that's ever. I don't think that's how that works. I don't think I've ever met somebody that's like more attracted to someone because they're non-binary.
That is one of my pronouns. Also,
It's
they,
real?
them, and me.
You're non-binary?
How do you know that word?
I learned it in school.
That's
This
why
looks
I'm
like the
locked
Family
up.
Guy porn.
I get it,
watch on my
because they're
family
teaching the kids in
computer.
school. This looks like Family Guy porn. I used to watch my What the fuck is? Thank you for the resub. He says he loves the
Free
stream.
to conditional parole.
What condition?
Where's my room?
That's
You're
staying here?
Chaz is part of a new government program.
To re-educate homophobic
His name is Chaz, like the Central Autonomous Zone that was in Seattle. Is that the joke?
transphobic, racist.
Charlie, finally, someone normal.
He has a Washington
I don't
Redskins shirt.
understand.
Okay, this is kind of funny. Maybe in ways that I will give it. It's actually kind of funny, potentially in ways they intended.
You're black.
Did that just Black Whisper?
You're his friend?
What?
Hey, boss. Speaking of, when you coming back to the trophy shop?
As soon as I get rid of this, which means I gotta take in that?
Offensive.
Chaz is here to re-educate Norm.
In non-bonery studies.
Offensive.
Good
I'm
one.
allergic to dogs.
It's okay. Billy is an emotional support dog and non-binary.
Oh, okay then. Good dog.
I come here
I
to
get
get
it.
away from woke.
Trouble at home?
Ah, my boy, or whatever it calls themselves now, is thinking about transitioning.
Reggie?
Try
And there's a lot of conflict going on in these families. It's a whole lot going on that time of year.
Regina.
Transitioning to what?
Another fumble. Hopefully not a Jets fan.
Hey, pronoun.
Good one.
This bud's for you.
They just call them pronoun.
Hey, pronoun. This bud's for you.
It's kind of funny.
I can't drink. I'm not 21.
Y'all influenced my boy to cut off his junk, but draw the line at beer?
What the fuck?
Can't do this.
Yes, we can.
Find a way to break him.
What has happened? Is this the president? The non-binary agent is they talking to the president? What is happening here?
Maybe we can fix the country.
I just want normals. Beer.
Exclamation
You know
mark
there'll be
drops.
jokes. The new norm ain't the same as the old norm. Everything's changing.
Wow. That was awesome.
This woke nightmare will end. Thank God for Elon Musk. Maybe shit most means. Exist of home for free speech.
Why is he there?
I almost forgot.
What?
We're going to Disney World.
Why did the ticket say D's nuts? Why did it say that? Why? Why did it say why did the ticket say D's nuts? It's copyright? Well, they said Disney World. Some meme a conservative made. It's also, I've seen like on the timeline like this like Hawk 2 meme. Like where did that? I haven't even seen that. I imagine it's not very funny. I imagine it's not a very funny meme. It's a blowjob meme. Well, I gathered that. That part I gathered, but It's a girl spitting. Some girl talked about spitting on it. Okay. Why did it become a meme? Hold on, meme review. Taking PewDiePie's spot, but this time we're not racist. Full Hawk Tuah interview for those who missed it. All right, guys. Let's see what the people on X are enjoying.
Get drunk like we're doing right now.
Y'all getting over a breakup right now?
The only way to get over one is get under another. Amen.
Okay.
So you got a side piece.
When
Maybe.
does it
Maybe
start?
I got 3. Maybe I got 7.
How many is on your roster?
Good for her.
There's only one I want, but till he's serious, I'm a boo.
So how many you got on your roster right
Damn.
now?
Maybe 4. 1. She said 1.
Maybe 4. How many you got on your roster?
I almost feel, well, I don't almost. I might feel bad for this woman. I don't know like what she's done since this video's come out, but it seems like she was just drunk on, what is this? It looks like Bourbon Street, maybe, New Orleans. And this guy just put a camera and a mic in front of her.
None.
You trying to add one to it?
Add 1?
Yeah, you trying to add
Is
one
that
more
you?
to it? Yeah, that's me.
Maybe, I don't know.
So I can get your number?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. There you go.
You got it. There you go.
Fake number, dude.
I got one more for
Good
you.
question. Like, you gotta make it good.
Leave a message to your last body.
My last body?
Yeah.
I miss you. Come back.
You miss him.
Damn.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're doing his little thing.
Yeah.
What's your type?
Like me. Like me, but a boy version, pretty much.
Explain.
That's so real.
I can. Don't make us fall down.
You. Leave a message to your last. Leave a message to your last body.
This guy is really hitting with the questions, man. He's just like standing there like, what do you want to say, last guy you fucked? How many people you fucked? You have sex?
I love you, Pookie, forever.
They must have been doing the right thing.
What can I say?
Okay.
Make the cobwebs off this
He's in the
thing.
superstar department. I see.
Are you posting this, bro? I'm waiting. Come on. She'll be back. Like, I don't know how to answer those.
The word on the street is that Hawk Tuah girl, as they call her, is pissing off the LGBT community for taking attention away during Pride Month. That's what I heard. I saw a tweet about that. Is that true? Is this the tweet? Is this it? OMG. The LGBTQ crowd is mad because the Hawk Tuah girl is stealing their attention during Pride Month. 84K likes.
Like, my type, I don't have a type.
Do you know what? Do you know what makes you
Yep,
wifey
we're
material?
pissed.
Be wifey?
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
What? Explain. What's everything?
I'm loyal. This is my wife. What makes me wifey material?
What makes her wifey material?
That fat she got.
For real, turn around. Let me see.
You fucking lying. No, she got a bubble butt. Go ahead, give us no, man.
Can we have a 360? Can you give us a 360?
Can we see your ass?
Just flat out, girl.
Excuse me.
Flat in. Come on, you gotta get a spicy one.
You want a spicy one?
I think this is Nashville. Yeah, that was my second guess.
What's one move in bed that make a man go crazy every time?
One what?
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time? That you do.
That I do.
Yeah. That makes a man go
Bro,
crazy.
he asks these questions and just stares off into the distance. He can't make eye contact and ask this shit.
Does not reply. In bed, Haley. Oh. This is for her.
Why don't they walk away? Bro, they're drunk as fuck.
You know how to answer this. You got it.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh,
that
you
do?
gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
That's it? That's it?
I don't get you. I think you gotta
That's the
demonstrate.
meme?
Hawk too and spit
Okay, she does it twice.
If I see her
This is
anywhere-
coworker humor
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Okay, I got another one for y'all.
Okay.
Would you rather? Hold on, is she listening?
Would you rather?
Would you rather have back shots for the rest of your life or missionary for the rest of your life? You can only choose one.
This guy is something, dude.
Back shots? Why back shots?
because I don't like somebody looking at me in my face, you know?
You don't like that eye contact?
I don't like that.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Me too.
I'm not a pillow princess.
The new norm is funnier. Yeah, new norm is funnier than
I'm not a
this.
pillow princess.
Wait, you gotta repeat. I'm sorry. I'm really focused.
It is kind of crazy that this took away attention from Pride Month, though. To all the LGBTs in chat, y'all kind of fell off.
That's hard. Hold
How do
on.
you get beat by this?
Okay, wrap it up. Okay.
Tim and DTV.
All right.
You say we better post that?
Yes.
Okay.
Post it for real.
Post it for real. All right. Awesome video. I'm gonna give that one boom out of 5. That's just a boom. That's not only one boom from me. It is what it is. Debate bingo. Gifting a sub to the first pleb to win. Oh, wow. Free opportunity in the chat room. My coworkers reference this every 10 minutes. It kills me. I imagine that's killing in like SEC school, summer school. Like if you go to like an SEC like conference school and then like you know, you're taking summer classes, I imagine that kills right now. I'm going to assume that that's a real hitter.
Who do you think is playing the halftime show tonight?
I'm hoping for JT, but he's been going through a little bit lately, so I don't know.
Get a nod where they're saying that's what we hope. We don't really.
Oh my
know
God,
if we're going
Daily
to see
Wire
that."
backstage.
Swami about. I talked to Vivek about which version of Trump he's expecting to see. Here's what he had to say. To the big question on everyone's mind, you know President Trump very well. Which version of Donald Trump are you expecting to see tonight?
I expect to see the true version. He's feeling confident for good reason, because if this debate tonight is about policy records of two presidents and also their policy vision for the next 4 years, that's going to be good for America, and that's a debate that Donald Trump wins. Now, with the conditions set up for the debate being what they are, it's no secret that CNN does have a historical bias. We're doing it in a blue city and in the middle of
He does
no
play the
audience
character.
circumstance. They're going to try to tilt it every way they can away from that. But I think if he stays true to his policy record and stays true to his vision,
He's got to know about it.
I think he's going to come out doing great, and that's what I expect to see.
Austin's show is in squeaks. Dude, I texted Austin this morning. Apparently Austin's doing like some stream with like Amaranth for the debate. I texted Austin. I was like, Amaranth's a progressive? And he was like, of course, she's a sex worker. I was like, oh, true.
They have
Makes
us watching
sense.
the TV feed just like everyone else at home. Again,
He's like,
some
all right,
reporters
that-
not very
all right,
happy
you
with
got
that,
me.
But we got a lot more coming, a lot more interviews set up.
That's terrific.
Wouldn't have taken
And what
her
have you
for,
heard
you know,
from within the
but-
Trump
all right.
campaign beyond just
Connor
your
gets
conversation
banned on the
with
bingo
Vivek
board is
and
crazy.
surrogates,
Oh, is that on
what's
the board?
actual campaign position on the day?
Well, it's been interesting. You know, throughout the last few weeks, President Trump has been saying, will Biden even show up? He's going to be on drugs. Can he string a sentence together? Some of the Trump folks I spoke to were very open about
Daily
the fact
Wire?
that
Yeah,
there
I'm
is a
only watching
fear
real
that
coverage,
the
bro.
expectations for Biden may have been set too low, to where if Biden comes out and doesn't just turn into dust on stage, that people looking at home will say, wow.
He's going to
this
be
actually
on
went really
drugs?
well
I
for
hope
him.
he
did a good
is.
job.
I'm
So
hoping
they did
Biden's
talk
geeking
about
like a
the
motherfucker.
expectations for what we're seeing. And the other big
That
thing
doesn't
we're
take
hearing from
my
Trump
vote.
surrogates is concern
That
over the
enforces my
moderates.
vote.
They are very worried about the fact that it'll
If they can drug up that guy past the finish line to win, and then he dies and Kamala's president, you know what? We'll take it. It is what it is.
Does Trump have to do
Much
a
has been made of
Microsoft
the
Teams call
moderators for
from
this event.
prison?
President Trump and many of his team members concerned about potential bias.
He is
We've heard
on
concerns
Molly.
from press members that they're not going to be in the room. Do you expect to see a fair and unbiased?
Connor
evening
ignoring
for
all the
debate?
Minecrafters in LA to watch two old men argue. Bro, I did not want to drive to Anaheim.
And frankly, for the media, that
I had no
Jake
fun
and
last year. I haven't heard about any interesting parties yet, so I'm like, I don't think I'm cool enough.
Because you know why? Moderators are not making the decisions on behalf of the American people. The president of the United States does that. So we want them ask your question.
You don't need
and get
bingo
out of the
emotes,
way.
dude.
If
You
they
don't
do
need
that, I think it'll be a good debate. It's when you have
Some of you are only entertained if you have funny little pictures to go with the words you
People don't
type.
want to see a Candy Crowley moment where you interject yourself into a debate and then you're wrong in the process. We don't want to see that. Let
Connor,
Joe
give me
Biden,
beer.
let Donald Trump talk to the
Oh.
American people. That's what America needs. That'll make for a great debate tonight.
Hey, what do I get Tina Kitten for her birthday?
And one more
I couldn't
important point
figure
to
it
remember
out.
for
I
people
was
who are
like,
wondering,
does
how
Tina get one like a
important is this
Target
debate?
gift card?
On average,
I
since
love
1976, after the
Make
first
things
presidential
great
debate,
again.
in the 2 weeks following, we've seen a 2.7% shift in the national polls. This debate does matter.
Alcohol?
A
Well,
lot of
someone
people
told me to
think
get a
that they're
wine
lying based on what
bottle.
they see.
And I was like, that made me feel old as shit. I was like, damn, I am at the age now where I guess a birthday gift is a wine bottle.
Find someone who has
I was
only
like,
publicly
damn,
compared
well,
Donald Trump
probably
to
not
Adolf
gonna do
Hitler 3
that.
times, I think really shows that they have a commitment.
But then I was like, maybe
to
I'll
making
get her
sure
a
that it's an
12-pack of
unbiased
High
presentation.
Noons.
And Gavin,
It's
thank
like a
you. We'll check in
supplement.
with you again after the.
That's currently what I'm leaning
In defense
towards.
of CNN, I have to say, the disrespect that they are showing to journalists really
Biden
makes my
just
heart
needs to do a little
There
is something to then he'd get my votes.
You know, obviously, look, we've been talking a
Pack
lot
of
about
cigarettes.
who exactly Trump picks for VP, and so
Yo,
watching
P
them
Dig
do their
TV,
auditions for VP with
Belterin,
Gabby is really
Connor
interesting.
Eats Me, Corthy, Brenan, Sarah's Upset, Sir Shadow, Aaron, Blow JPEG, Mr. Chikan, Rim Source, Trafera, Mossock, Eski, Ninagi, Consul Bastion Made, Organ Milk, Organic Milk, Strawberry Army, Will Plays, Upon Leda, Mossy G, The Vap Goo, Medium Waffle, and Groggy. Thank you guys for the subs.
And the biggest fear in the DNC
Owen Onies, thank you.
is what if Joe Biden doesn't make it over the finish line and they have to run Kamala?
Oh my gosh, it's just a nightmare scenario.
Nightmare.
Bitter
And so
Valorant
if you look on the
skins.
Republican side of the aisle, the question is what Trump needs from a VP candidate, and the answer
Hunter is
kind
going
of
to be so
Mike Pence. I
upset
mean, like,
Biden
like
stole
the
his
truth is what he
pants.
needs is somebody
Tim
who
Pool is much more
feels like they're ready to
trustworthy
take
than
over
Daily
on the first
Wire,
day,
who
but isn't
betrayed
the center
Donald
of
Trump in
attention,
his time
who's
of
gonna
need.
be
Please switch
capable
to
in
them
debating Kamala
instead.
Harris,
That's a
and
good
who
point,
doesn't
bro.
make a lot
I
of
didn't
waves,
think
doesn't
about
draw
that.
a lot of incoming fire. And so I think that when you look
Does
at
he even stream on YouTube? I don't think he does. He's probably on like Rumble or some shit, right? Oh, I bet Rumble is going crazy right now. It's the Super Bowl for Rumble. Rumble.com is currently dead. I was right. I can't even get there. They can't even handle the traffic. Oh my god. The lights were too bright for Rumble.com. Oh, what a shame. You can't even watch on... That's actually so crazy. Go to Kick. Who's on Kick? Gotta be careful here. You never know on Kick TV. Action Man and Los Pollos. New MILF Manor with my dad reactions. Okay. Grab her by the pussy with Wee Wrangler. All right, well, we're gonna stick to Twitch this evening. Fat chest, I love Drake. Dude, me too, bro. Me too, man. Actually, I'm trolling. I thought you know what? I forgot about the exclamation point allegations. You know what? You're right. Never mind. Steven Crowder's live on... I thought he was banned off YouTube.
Control of Congress that is as nonsensical as it is dystopian, with a healthy wallop of racial division.
Wait, is he just... Maybe he is.
The trial is baseless.
He's just restreaming it. He can't be on there.
No evidence, absolutely no evidence that Biden himself was involved.
Whatever this
I don't think he's allowed to be on the stream.
Let's remember what this case
Didn't he abuse his wife?
In the control room, I don't need to see
Well,
anymore
his
of
wife
that.
divorced him.
He's trying to
So-
turn it into a spectacle, into a campaign.
They were both
ad.
in the wrong.
We've seen it already.
I think
You look at it
issue
from
that
his
Eric was
perspective.
expressing is the reluctance to criticize President Trump.
We need
for
Destiny's
specifically saying
POV.
things
46,000 viewers?
like
Yeah,
very
that's
fine
crazy.
people were
The song's
marching
getting
in that
mogged by
rally.
Steven
Donald
Crowder.
Trump incites a terrorist attack, and they have a
That's
different
embarrassing.
He went to that rally and called
Go to the RFK one? Dude, I forgot about that. Wait, where is that? There was, let me pull up that RFK Jr. tweet. He tweeted oh wait, I don't know what his account is. It's on X, the everything app. Oh. Here it is. XQC got less viewers than Steven? Damn. Where's the there was a photo that was so funny, dude. Where is it? There's a photo of him like at his own podium because he wasn't invited to the debate. So he's standing at his own podium, like answering the questions during the debate because he wasn't invited, which is really awesome.
Missing from tonight's debate stage, and I'm not just talking about usually 60.
Wait, did you see that clip of a guy doing an RFK impression on Joe Rogan and Joe Rogan immediately shuts it down? It's so awkward. Holy shit. Where is it? Where's the clip of the guy that did the voice on Joe? Someone find it for me. I can't. Nothing. X searching is terrible. Can't find it. I'm searching Joe Rogan Robert and I can't find it. X the everything app. I'm on it. I can't find it. Someone's gotta find this for me. I give up. Come to Nigeria. I'm coming, bro. I'm on my way, dude. Big collab. He's the guy who swears because he's white. He failed at comedy and not because he's bad at it. Okay, well now I'm gonna have to keep clicking links and none of them are gonna be right. You guys are gonna be trolling. Wait, where the fuck do I watch it? Wait, where the fuck is the stream, actually?
Love from Hawaii.
First time chatter linked something. Is this the debate? I don't give a fuck if I'm late, let's be real. Here we go.
We're live from Georgia.
First time chatter actually helped.
In the race for the White House. In
That
just
first time
moments,
chatter's link was better than every single sub's
we'll
link.
debate the
That's
former
impressive.
U.S. president as their party's presumptive nominees, a first in American history. We want to welcome our viewers in the United States and around the world to our studios in Atlanta. This is the CNN presidential
ATL.
debate.
Why is it in Atlanta? Freaky ass city. Dude, Robert Kennedy's website won't work. TheRealDebate.com is down, by the way.
CNN.com, CNN Max,
TheRealDebate.com
and
is down.
Espanol. This is
Oh.
a pivotal moment between President
I
Joe
can't even
Biden
watch it,
and
Robert.
President Donald Trump in their rematch for the nation's highest office. Each will make his case to the American people with just
I hope
over
Trump
4
and
months
Biden
Guy on
to
left
go
has such a look.
Good evening, I'm Dana Bash, anchor of CNN's Inside
Kinda like a
Politics
cartoon
and co-anchor
character.
of State of the Union.
I'm Jake Tapper, anchor of CNN's The Lead and co-anchor of State of the Union. Dana and I will co-moderate
He looks
this
evil?
evening. Our job is to facilitate a debate between the two candidates tonight.
He's not
Before we
evil,
introduce
he's a
them, we
good
want to
guy.
share the rules of the debate with the audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left side of the
Make the
screen.
stream a little
President
louder.
Biden will be appearing on the right. A coin toss determined their position.
Why did Joe Biden
Each
want to be on the
candidate
right
will have
so
2
bad? I
minutes
guess
to
they've
answer
done their
questions.
research. That guy on
1
right
minute
seems
each for responses
seems
and
better.
rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on, and his opponent's
Next appearance on a
microphone will
San
be
stream
turned
win.
off. Should a
Whenever I feel
candidate
like it.
interrupt when his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight. Pre-written notes, props, or contact with campaign staff are not permitted during the debate.
Okay.
By accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th
Accept-
president of the
accept.
United
Biden has a
States,
really
Joe
funny
Biden.
Joe is
that will
ready.
only work on the
Look at
right
him.
side.
Hey, how are you? Let's go!
And please welcome the 45th president of the United States,
Is it still funny
Donald
to joke
Trump.
about Kanye
What the
running?
fuck is this, man? This is crazy.
Did you see
We're
any of
so
the UK
fucked.
leaders' debates?
We're so
Gentlemen,
fucked.
thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is their top concern: the economy. President Biden,
I don't gaff,
but
bro.
prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
God.
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. we had an economy that was in free fall.
Oh, God.
The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right.
What's wrong with his
The
voice,
economy
bro?
collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do is try to put things back together again.
Oh, God.
And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000
Get him some water.
jobs. We brought out the position where we have 800,000
Oh, it's so over.
jobs. There's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in
no.
trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of household.
Maybe if he does like bad enough, they'll replace him. Maybe.
Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price
Maybe.
of housing, the price of a whole
Maybe
range
we
of
can
things.
bet on like a
That's why
really
I'm working
bad
so hard to make
performance and
sure
they swap
I
them.
deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination, what I was left with in corporate greed, is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to
So
that,
true, bro.
we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos.
It's true.
Literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription
Get him
drugs,
some
which is
water,
a major
man.
issue for many people, to $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year.
No, bro. He sounds so bad.
To all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price of around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Why is he whispering,
Trump.
man?
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end
My
up
God, he
in
didn't call
a
it
Great
China
Depression,
virus.
the likes
Wait a
of
minute.
which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But
That's not even true. I don't think he created that.
A country
I don't
where
think
the stock market
it
actually
doesn't
was
even-
higher than pre-COVID.
That doesn't make
and
sense.
Nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce-back jobs, a bounce-back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely
I have
killing
captions
us.
on. It's just.
Thank you, President Biden.
Well, look, the
Live,
greatest
bro.
economy in the world. He's the only one that thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he had the greatest economy in the world. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that we found ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy.
Super Tommy said, God damn, I am so fucking sick of these people getting mad at the president for this economic shit. Like, bro, you have no idea what goes into that shit, just like me, so shut the fuck up.
Than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover.
Why is that the realest fucking message I've ever seen? And it's from an AI chatter, dude.
When he was president, there was
Can we pin that, please? I mean, that like true as fuck, Tommy.
When he was president, we were still finding
True
ourselves in a
as
position
fuck.
where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have any, this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can.
Am I allowed to respond to him?
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You
This
want
century?
to impose a 10% tariff
This
on all
decade?
goods
Well,
coming
it
into
kind of
the
counts.
US.
2001.
How will you ensure that
Pretty
that
much.
doesn't drive prices even
Give him
higher?
that.
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I
Oh my
also gave
God,
you the
Joe, looks
largest
like he's
regulation cut in
dying,
history.
dude.
That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down, and then they bounced back. And he's
We
taking
need Joe to
credit for
just, like,
bounce-back
beat
jobs.
Joe
You
with
can't
it,
do
man.
that. He
He's
also
too
said
tense.
He inherited 9% inflation.
too
No,
tense.
He inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed
Call
that
him a
way for
stupid son
14
of a
months.
bitch or something.
And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like.
Dude,
a bunch
imagine
of
like
people
after
that
one of
didn't
these
know
Trump
what they were
monologues, if
doing,
he
and they
just
don't
goes,
know
"You
what
are
they were
one
doing. It was the
stupid
worst,
son of a
probably the
bitch,"
worst
like it would kill.
administration in history.
It would kill.
There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power, He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history
He's
of our
on
country's
cooldown.
life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your
Bro, he
administrations,
looks so
the national
bad.
debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt. Well, so far, President Biden, you've approved
Get him off the screen,
$4.3 trillion
please.
in new debt.
Give me more of this.
So former President Trump, many of the tax cuts
Don't cut
that you
back
signed
to
into
him.
law are set to expire next
It never
year.
looks good.
You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before.
Come on, Joe, lock in,
and
bro.
we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation.
Everyone pray for Joe. Give him your energy, dude.
We came up with. We gave him
To the witches in the chat and the warlocks in hiding.
Under his administration,
we need some spells cast.
Largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it. Something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job.
None of this is
just
true.
a very poor job. And I will tell you,
oh, a little smart there, okay.
but throughout the
little
entire
personality.
world, we're no longer respected
More
as a
of that.
country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't
He's
respect
waking up.
the United States.
He's waking
anymore.
up.
We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent. All of the things he's done, we've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame.
Come on, man.
The damage he's done to
How
our
is he allowed to
country,
talk this
and
long,
I'd love
by
to
the
ask
way?
him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in 4 years. Number one. Number two.
True.
That $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million. Billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period.
Stop messing up the numbers, Joe.
We'd wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system.
It's getting mogged.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with.
Oh my God, it's so done.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Oh, my
He's right.
God.
He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
It's over.
Because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security.
Absolutely,
this man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These
yeah, Joe, it's over, man. It's over.
They're trying to put them on Social Security.
Wrap it up,
he will
Joe.
Wipe out Social
There's
Security.
no way they
He
run
will
him after
wipe out
this.
Medicare.
Look on the
So
bright
he was
side.
right
There's
in the
no
way he
way
finished
they
that
run him
sentence,
after this.
And it's a shame.
There's
What's
no
happened to our
way they make
country
him the candidate.
in the last 4
There's just
years
no
is
way
not
they
to
do
be
it.
believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no
Switch
longer
to
respected.
Junkrat. I'll vote for
They
Junkrat.
don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think
It's
we're
too
very
late.
stupid
The convention
people.
hasn't happened
what we're
yet.
doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
This is the first presidential election
They didn't let
since
Joe
the
reply.
Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case,
I need Subway
temporarily
Surfers
allowing
gameplay under
emergency
this.
abortions to continue in Idaho. despite that state's
He literally is
restrictive
a
ban.
criminal. Yeah,
Former
true.
President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However,
Correct.
the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills.
This is like Diva versus
They're
Zarya,
used
literally,
in
man.
About 2/3
Swap.
of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion pill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it.
Didn't they
And
send it
if
back
you
to the
look at
States?
This
I don't
whole
think they
question that you're
approved it.
asking, a complex,
This is
but not really
terrifying.
complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what
Poor
I did
Joe,
is I
man.
put 3 great Supreme
You
Court
gotta feel
justices
bad
on
for
the
him
court,
to an extent.
and they happened to vote in favor.
Like, he fully
of
expected
killing
his
Roe
son
v.
to be
Wade
president, and then he
moving
just
it back to
died.
the states. This is
And then he had to be the president.
everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago,
And then
or
his
so,
other
they
son
started
keeps
talking about
lighting
how many
up,
weeks and how many this,
eking left
getting
and
into
right.
other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought.
Pitiful, but I don't feel
Kansas,
bad
I would
for
say
him.
the same
Yeah, I mean,
thing.
feeling
Texas
bad is a bit of a
different,
stretch,
Florida's
but
different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes.
he needs to
And
like
frankly,
channel his
I think it's important to
ancestor
believe in the
presidents right
exceptions.
now.
Some people you
Trump
have to follow
don't
your
gaff
heart. Some
about the
people don't believe in
ancestors.
that.
We got the
But I
ghost of
believe in
like
the exceptions
like
for
every
rape, incest,
Abraham
and the life
Lincoln,
of
George
the mother. I think
Washington.
it's
He
very
needs to
important.
like call upon
Some
them like
people
the
don't. Follow
Avatar.
your heart, but you have to get elected also, and because that has to do with other
Roosevelt,
things. You gotta get
like,
elected.
call upon them,
the
bro.
problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country
Nobody
is
was
now
doing that.
coming together on
I don't
this
know
issue.
what you're
It's been a
talking about,
great
man.
thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help.
Yep.
The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule.
I will
But
determine
there's so many young women who
the bits?
including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant. coming
What?
in, they talk about that. But here's
What?
the deal: there's a lot of
What are you talking about?
women being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses.
What did
brothers and sisters?
What did? He was talking about the girl that got killed at UGA, right? What did she have to do with the abortion question?
Thank you.
There have been many young women.
Oh, he's gonna
murdered
cry.
by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the
Wait,
most
literally,
dangerous
what the
place
fuck was he
anywhere in
talking
the world.
about? Why
Considered
did he-
the most dangerous place
Oh
anywhere
my
in the
God.
world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing.
Trump brought her
women.
up? Okay.
And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases,
Where did she
call
come? Where did?
decision. In
Okay.
many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which, frankly, they didn't. But they would have. Everybody wanted brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the
Founding
one to do
fathers
it. And
mentioned.
again, this gives it
He
the
channeled
vote
the
of
fathers.
people, and that's where they wanted it. Every
Oh,
legal
no,
scholar
bro.
wanted it that way.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President Biden, 7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support
This
any
draft
legal
class is
limits
very
on how
Cry
late
for
a woman
America,
should be
bro?
able to
Bro.
terminate a pregnancy?
I supported Roe v. Wade, which
Oh,
had 3
tell him,
trimesters.
Joe.
The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous.
Okay.
It's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
So that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrats,
Is that what that means?
take it after birth.
Is that what that
the
means?
Former governor of Virginia put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's in.
After birth, he wants to kill the babies right after they're born. He wants to kill them.
And kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican.
He's
Nobody
reasonably confused right now.
That is simply not true.
Tell him!
The Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance.
Okay.
When a woman's life is in danger, she's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period.
Okay.
Period.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court.
Okay, wait, he's cooking. What the fuck? What happened?
What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of.
You can't change the topics too fast on Joe, man.
Increase the number of
fuck him up.
officers. Significantly. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where, when he was president, he was taking.
This is the dumbest part of this fucking debate. Like, they've both done the same thing. Like, Biden's done worse than, worse is my opinion, but he's done more on the border than Trump has.
I've changed it in a way that
this is just stupid thing to even argue. They're both like on the same, they have the same position.
Legally, that's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on.
No, he hasn't. Actually, do your research, bro.
Relative to what we're going to do with.
Actually, do your research.
And more.
Pay attention, bro. Read the news. Why don't you?
I don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history.
He could have used that earlier. I don't think that was that.
All he had to do was leave it.
It didn't work that well there. I kind of understood what he was saying.
Open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now. All terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere. All over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation, because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months
of my presidency,
we had, according to Border Patrol,
what is he talking about?
And by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, who endorsed me for president.
Right in Blautus _ for a reach change.
Look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it.
You just say Brandon?
Why do you say Brandon? Including the people that are coming up.
You just call him Brandon? Did I hear that correctly?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed 3, under his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person come in his administration, killed 3 American soldiers. Killed 3 American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people. That's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating. He's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote,
Why is
the
this our
largest
reality?
domestic deportation
We earned it.
operation in American history.
We deserve
Does
this.
that mean that you will deport every undocumented
Everything that's
immigrant
happening,
in
we do
America,
deserve.
including those who have jobs,
Why are
including
they
those
old?
whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if
Who's
so,
we?
how will you do it?
Just us,
Just
bro.
1 second. He said we killed 3
Just
people.
us.
The people we killed are
As a collective.
al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union.
Connor, I
because we
always
don't
come
have
back
borders
for your
anymore.
political
Every
streams.
state
Thank
is
you,
now
bro.
a border.
I have a lot of
And
political
because of his
understanding and nuance.
ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime.
That's so
I call
true,
it
Trevor. I've been saying that.
migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And
We call
you're
it
reading
migrant
like
crime.
these 3 incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and he just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at
Just
all.
realized this debate is less
And he
than
doesn't
10
care
minutes
about
from
our
me.
veterans.
Yeah, it's 10
Nobody
minutes away
been
from where I
worse.
grew up.
I had
At the
the
CNN
highest
Center,
approval
bro.
rating
I did
for
a field
veterans
trip here in
taking
like
care of
4th
the
grade.
VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half. because he's
Academics
done
is
all these
reacting to
great
the
things
debate,
that we
too.
did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people
Connor
at
for
our border
president.
by
Thank you,
allowing
President Trump.
all of these people to come in.
President
and it's
Biden.
very sad and half.
You make
because
watching
he's
this
done all
somewhat
these great
bearable,
things that we
thank
did.
you.
And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by
Thank you,
allowing
President Trump.
all of these people to come in.
President
and it's
Biden.
a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example,
Why would you watch this? To be fair, why would you watch me?
Crash the debate.
I mean, why would you?
We
Why
have
are you
great
watching
respect for
anybody?
veterans.
Go
My
get a
son- my
job.
son
Go
spent a year
outside.
in Iraq.
Hang out with your
We
family.
went next to one of those burn pits.
We
Came
have like
back
what,
with
6 months
states
left
perfectly
before it's all
above
over?
I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers.
People keep saying the
My
U.S. is
son was
legit
not a
doomed.
loser, was not
Like,
a
y'all
sucker.
don't
You're
understand.
the sucker.
This
You're
one
the
is the
loser.
world is doomed,
President
bro.
Trump?
Like, there has never been a
First of all,
more
that was a made-up
volatile
quote, suckers and
situation in
losers.
like
They made it up. It
geopolitics
was in
around the
third
world
grade
than right
magazine.
now.
It's failing like many of these
At least in like the
magazines.
past
He made
30
that up.
years.
He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people.
This is
that
this
said
is
it.
much
And
more
think
than
of
like
this.
just
Who would
America at
say
this point.
I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have
Nothing ever
19
happens,
people
gang. Me
that
too,
said
bro.
it was
Until
never said
something
by me.
happens, nothing
It
ever
was
happens.
made up by him, just like Russia was
That's
made
getting
up,
me by.
Just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up. Just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking, it's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia
turn your mic down.
disinformation. It wasn't. That
Is
came
that a Sabrina
from his son,
Carpenter
Hunter.
reference?
It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize.
What the
to me
fuck
right
did
now.
Hunter have to do with the
Four-star
Russian
general
allegation?
standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history.
Tell 'em,
American
Joe.
history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing.
Fine, I'll
That's what
turn
the
this
VA is
up.
doing now.
If I'm too
They're doing
loud.
more for veterans
I'm
than
the
ever
star of this
before
fucking
ever.
show. Go turn on
All right,
CNN,
thank
bro.
you so much.
Let's move to the Topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year. Former President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them.
Can't just say that. Move on, bro. That's not the question. Oh, he's laughing at him.
Russia and Ukraine. If we had a real president, the president that knew, that was respected by Putin.
Call him a dumb son of a bitch, bro. I'm telling you, that would actually get his numbers up so high.
Much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers.
Like, you can curse. You can be a little rude. Like,
he did nothing to stop.
Just call him a dumb son of a bitch.
Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
He's not answering the question.
That, and he saw the incompetence that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan.
Sorry for the ads. Maybe subscribe.
Billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers
if you
were
obliterated. Don't want ads, subscribe.
We left American citizens behind.
Y'all been here before?
Saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine. Never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything. No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
There was no terror.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is that
classic catchphrase.
Let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently, not when he was president, they attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place. Number one. Number two, we got
brain damage mentioned.
Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that era. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish. Kyiv, and he in fact didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done, and they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I never
said
that.
For 1 minute, I just want to go back
They're
to
not
my
letting Joe
original
talk.
question, which is,
why'd they cut Joe off
Putin's
there?
Terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory in Ukraine.
No, they're not acceptable.
Thanks, Town. Think Resurrect.
But look,
do sub.
This is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever.
Why does nobody ever mention that, like, that just comes out of the already established military
the money
budget?
That we're spending on this war.
I don't. That's what I don't understand about this. Like this talking point.
I will have that war.
Like, why are we acting like we're like drudging up billions of dollars? Like, no, it's already there.
On January 20th, I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
President Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear.
Hey, Darian.
He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire.
Wish it was under better circumstances.
He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then do you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Among those held and thought to still be alive.
Let's see who can be meaner to Palestinians here.
Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through to the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward. Which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one. They're the only ones standing
It's just not true.
Pushing hard.
That is just not true.
In the meantime, what's happened? In Israel, we're finding the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing.
What is Trump even going to say?
By the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed. And
Connor, you're like Hassan for guys who restock convenience store shelves for work. I know, bro.
Producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so they're 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened, Hamas, greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for using certain weapons among population centers.
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together have spent $100 billion, or maybe more than that, less than us.
He shouldn't be allowed to do this. He shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Money like I did with NATO. I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any. They were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion
Joe has some good
more
faces
spent,
here
and it has
for
a
sure.
bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job.
That was so close to being like, wait, you're right. Nope.
They don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak guy.
President Biden,
he was so close.
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. You're going to stay in NATO? He's going to pull out of NATO.
He's like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know if I'm going.
Well.
He's literally on the stage implying he's going to leave NATO, bro.
Able to avoid a war
he's like, oh, I don't know.
A major war in Europe. What happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine and then move on to Poland and other places. See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation has a serious threat to the whole world peace. No major war in Europe has ever been able to be contained just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, The problem
I don't know what that means.
Is that we
Other
spend
question.
all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, no. They don't want anything that we have.
I'd
But we're
have
supposed
to
to
see.
take their cars, their food,
It's crazy
their
that you could just
their
get a pass on
agriculture.
that. Like that's.
I changed that.
It doesn't
But
get
the big thing
taken
I
as
changed
badly
is they
as
don't
like
wanna
Joe
pay.
stuttering.
And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them
It's
to
all
put up
optics.
hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this. I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question. Would you guard us against Russia at a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time? And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to
Yeah,
ask you
that's
about
an issue.
January 6, 2021.
Okay.
After you rallied your supporters
All right.
that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th,
Just say people don't believe
we had
that.
a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January
Joe's
6th,
like,
we had
what
the
the
lowest
fuck?
taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard. And she turned them down. And the mayor of, in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see. I had
Thanks for the $3. He says he loves the
They asked me to
stream.
go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it, too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her. And she now admits that she turned it down.
He's just saying
And
shit.
it was
Yo, bro,
the same
Taster with
day
50
she was-
gifted
I don't know,
YouTube
I can't be
members.
very happy with her
Holy
daughter because
shit.
it made her into a liar. She said, I take full
And
responsibility
for becoming
for
a member
January
yourself.
6th.
Holy shit.
President Biden?
You say take full responsibility?
He encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues.
RFK
and
stream
Republicans
funny
had
as
well,
fuck.
to
Anybody
do
got the
something,
link?
Call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they talked about these people being
I bet it's funny
patriots
as fuck,
and-
dude.
and
He's
great
just standing
patrons
there
of
trying to
America.
answer the
In
fucking
fact,
questions.
He says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences. And say
Mr. Kennedy, the question which neither candidate answered was, there are millions of undocumented immigrants in the country now. What would you do?
Well, I want to comment on.
There's people at his.
Trump.
Where's the shot of him looking at people?
And
what would you do?
Go back. Go back. It won't work.
That's what you're doing. That's it.
Holy shit, man. That's so funny. That's so funny, dude.
What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. when you look at all of the, they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that. They saw them
Talking
coming,
about
and they
Chaz.
left
Chaz
immediately.
mentioned.
What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing. The Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now.
Did that
out of
happen while
office,
he? Yeah.
and
that's what he
Democrats,
said, never
all
mind.
Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is,
He nodded.
he's
Oh,
telling you
man.
simply not true.
He's-
The fact is
he's
that
eating 'em up.
there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who were convicted, turned over desks.
Embracing it is kind
turned them
of
over
sick, though.
statues. The idea that those people are patriots, come on. When I asked him the first two debates we had, first time around, I said, will you denounce the Proud Boys? He said, no, I'll tell them to stand by. The idea he's refusing, will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people?
Was he shaking his head? Is what he said.
Denounce the people who attacked
No,
that
you did say
Capitol?
that.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution
that's
is
what
going
he
to be
meant.
success. But when he talks
I
about
see.
a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times.
Yeah, but his
Should have been
son's not
convicted
running for
before, but
president.
his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a
Sorry, going
convicted
through a
felon
tunnel.
as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that
really
he's
think
done.
about it, the
He's done
election is
horrible things.
basically two
All of the
old
death
dudes
caused at
fighting to see
the
who can
border,
eat a sandwich in a
telling
cool
the
room while they
Ukrainian
control
people that
America.
we're going to want $1
So
billion
true.
or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever
Let
said
these
that,
guys out the
that's
retirement
quid pro
home.
quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky.
What
You're
the
lucky.
fuck does
I
Hunter
did
have to do
nothing
with
wrong.
this?
We'd have a system that
Hunter,
was rigged
Gen
and
Z
disgusting.
loves
I
Hunter,
did
bro.
nothing
This
wrong.
is not
Thank
the angle you
President
want.
Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. Well, you want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong.
Okay.
It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number
Bolting?
three, the crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things?
He's nodding to it.
Having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant. I mean, what were you talking about? You really have the morals of an alley cat.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two,
Well,
that
he
was
did.
a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We
I
had
don't think so.
A terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public
It's not
found
how
out
the
about
Justice
these cases,
Department
'cause
works.
They understand it better than
It's
he does.
just
He has
not
no idea
how
what
it
these
works.
cases are. But when they found out about these cases,
It's crazy
you know
how
what they did?
like
My poll
so much
numbers
of his
went up way
arguments
up.
just
You know
rely
that
on
'cause
like
you're reporting
a
it.
misunderstanding
And
of
we took in more money in
how
the last 2 weeks
anything
than
works.
we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you heard any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Do you ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas? What got me involved to run in the first place after my son had died, I decided in Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches, and singing the same anti-Semitic bile.
He's just nodding at them.
Back in Germany. And what the, and the
like he's there, he's like...
The mother, and they asked him, they said, what do you think of those people? The people who, the ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones he said,
how does he know when to talk?
On both sides. What American president would ever say Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas, were fine people?
It's literally like a Connor stream bit.
Done some good things.
Putting myself
there.
there.
Know what they are. The good things Hitler's done. That's what he said. This guy has no sense of American democracy.
President Trump.
Jake, both of you know that story has been totally wiped out because when you see the sentence, it said 100%
some great Joe reactions here, man.
So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville.
There's some great Joe faces
today. He ran
today.
because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency is, without question, the worst presidency in the history of our country. We shouldn't be having a debate about it.
That
There's
hurt his
nothing
feelings.
to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place. Every anchor every reasonable anchor
I don't think
has
that'll help you.
debunked it. And just the other day it came out
I don't
where
think
it was
that's
fully
true, Donald.
debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that
Check
as
the
an
Russell
excuse to run.
Brand stream.
President Biden.
And debunked. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran. I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. If he thought they were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those woods, carrying those torches,
The corporatists.
he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea,
it's an embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13.
We saw people occupying his own vice president. Look, there's a reason why.
Why are you saying Russell Brand might go? Google, dude.
Refused to endorse him this time. His vice president.
That is not your goat.
This time. So why? Why? They know him well. They serve with him. Why are they not endorsing him?
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
Look, it's RFK's time.
April of 2022, they signed the treaty. The one thing that Putin wanted was that we didn't put NATO in Ukraine. He didn't want to conquer Europe. And they signed it. Putin was withdrawing his troops, leaving Donbass
The
and
real
Lugansk.
debate.
And what happened? President Joe Biden sent Boris Johnson over to Kiev and forced Zelensky to tear up that agreement because they had another agenda, which is to weaken Russia. President Trump was
No,
part
he
of it.
just sounds like that.
President Trump gave the first $1.3 billion to Ukraine in 2017 of the first offensive weapons. He then sent Mike Pompeo over there in 2019 to say that we're going to put NATO there. So, and then he walked away from the intermediate range nuclear treaty with Russia unilaterally. We had a nuclear weapons treaty that we wouldn't
Where's the
put
RFK
intermediate
option in the
missiles
poll?
in Ukraine or the other former Soviet satellite states. And President Trump walked away from it. So the two of them are equally.
The Russell Brand stream. There's Russell. Why did his stream stop? Like it wasn't continuing. Let's see what happened at the very end. What made him turn it off?
Those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned,
he's
and so
smoking.
he's got no love lost.
He's high as
but he
shit.
should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan,
Oh, I can't run
where
ads,
we
it's on
left
cooldown.
billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind, too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take my.
Is
This
Russell
was
Brand
his
the React
dream.
Dandy
I
now?
talked to him
No, he
about
got
his dream.
accused with
The
like
difference
credible
is
like
he
sexual
never
assault
would have
charges
invaded
and like
Ukraine.
human
Never.
trafficking, I think, too.
Just like Israel.
So
would have
then
never
he
been
immediately
invaded
turned to right-wing
in a
pundit.
million years by Hamas.
So his
You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do
so his
business
angle
with
was to
them.
become
They
a
ran
right-wing
out of money.
pundit
They
to
were
try to
broke.
like get
They had no
around
money
it.
for
And
Hamas.
honestly, good angle.
Jump over to Rumble now because whatever was happening on Rumble before seems to have been remedied. So
Oh, he was
jump
supposed to be on Rumble. That's why he was on YouTube. Was because Rumble was down. I see. He was whispering into my right ear. I understand now. Is Rumble back? Nope, it's actually not. Well, you were wrong, Russell. This is the Super Bowl for Rumble, and they're not even working. Like, come on, guys. Y'all needed this. Why is Rumble down? Too much traffic, man.
Just kill me now, please.
Wiggles, thank you, bro. Graham Cracker, thank you. Do you think they will talk about Dune? Not really.
Welcome back to the CNN presidential debate live from Georgia. Let's talk about persistent challenges you both faced in your first terms and you'd certainly face again in a second term. President Biden, while black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, black families still earn far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes, and black Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress.
OMG, where in Georgia is this? Where the fuck do you think, bro? Macon, Georgia.
Number 2.
Oh, it's in
the
Atlanta.
Wages of black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number 3, we're trying to provide housing for black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses. In addition to that, we find that the impact on the choice.
He's really close to slipping up and like doing a Super Bowl bit that I had last year.
Difficult. When we did the first major piece of legislation in the past,
it wasn't long ago that
black child
you wouldn't see a crowd like this.
Cut them in half. We got to make sure we provide for child care costs. We got to make sure because when you provide those child care protections, you increase economic growth. Because
you should end this statement with like, and I want to make a statement right now. I apologize for voting to segregate the schools.
But we've done
that was a
great deal
miss.
So far, and I'm not letting up.
We would appreciate an apology, Joe.
You have 49 seconds left.
The American people are waiting.
What do you say to black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any black family, first-time home buyer, should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that we're in a situation where all those black families and those black individuals who provided had to take out student loans that were ballooning, that if they were engaged in nursing, doctor, and anything having to do with volunteerism, if they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest was forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation. And he's right, it's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody.
It's so
killing
easy for
people.
him to
They
say
can't
that, but
buy
it's just not the
groceries
case,
anymore.
though.
They can't. You look at the cost of food.
I mean,
where it's
maybe he
doubled,
didn't
tripled and
levy as much
quadrupled.
as he could have,
They
but
can't live. They're
it was
not
all a
living
fallout
anymore.
of COVID.
He caused this inflation.
And the Trump
I gave
economy.
him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being
Joe
thrown
didn't
out the
even do
window.
the Green New
He
Deal.
caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden?
What is
There
he?
was no inflation.
What is he talking
when I
about?
became president. You know why?
What is the worst thing we're ever
Economy's
gonna see?
flat on its back. 15% unemployment. He
They bring in
decimated
goblins?
the economy.
What?
Absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time.
Are goblins
There were
going to
no
take the jobs too?
We provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who are in all communities, including minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance. We have covered, the ACA has increased. I made sure that they're $8,000 per person in a family to get written off for health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again, and they're going to try again if they win. You find ourselves in a position where
So they do
idea
need to actually
that
address
we're
the
not
goblin
doing it,
issue.
I
I'm
put
saying,
more-
bro.
We put more police on the street.
You know, I'm
than
still
any
subscribed to the
administration
UFO
has.
subreddit,
He wants to cut the
and like they
cops.
had a thread
We
today on
provided
like the
for
debates,
equity,
and they were like, "Do you
equity,
think they will
making sure
ask
people
about the
have a shot
UFOs
to make it. There's a lot
during the
going on.
CNN debate?" And the top
inflation,
comment was
he
like, "It'd be
caused it
surprising
by
if they
his
didn't."
tremendous
Everybody's talking
now
about it lately.
feasance in the way
I was
he
like,
handled the
"Yeah,
pandemic.
yeah, it
Thank
would be
you.
surprising."
Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronting the devastating effects of extreme heat, intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take
Why do I have to
any
vote for a
action
geriatric
as
in order to not
president
vote for a
slow the
felon or
climate
waste my
crisis?
vote?
Let me just go back.
'Cause that's your
to what I
obligation
said
as an
about
American, bro. You
police.
pay your taxes.
How close
You
the
till the
police are to
field.
him. Almost every police group
You
in
live
the
your
nation
life.
from every state
And you
is
vote
supporting Donald J.
best
Trump.
you can.
Almost every police group.
Is what
and
it
what
is,
he's
bro.
done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that.
Joe
Super
reaction.
Predators was his name, and he called it to them for 10, and they've taken great offense at it, and now they see it happening.
Oh, you
But
did
when
say
they
that,
see what
Joe.
I
You
did for
know,
criminal
he got you
justice
there.
Reform and for the historically
Kinda mugged.
black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job. Great senator from South
I
Carolina.
wish they could both
He
be
came
the
to me with
president.
idea, and it
I'd
was a
take
great
that.
idea. It's
Like,
one
they
of the
have
most
to work
successful
together.
economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever, the best numbers. He's lost much of the black population because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Hispanics. But wait till you see these millions of people pouring into our country, and they're going to take the jobs, and it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
You 38 seconds left.
Is this
President
real?
Trump, will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely
A guy
immaculate
from my
clean
high
water,
school posted on
and I
his
want
Instagram story that he
absolutely
couldn't get a
clean air,
marketing
and we
job
had
at
it.
Skechers
We had H2O. We had
because
the
of like
best
DEI
numbers
or like
ever. And we were using
diversity hires.
all forms of energy.
That was
all
why he
forms,
couldn't get a
everything.
marketing job at
And yet,
Skechers. He posted it on his
during my
Instagram
4
story.
years, I had the best environmental
I was like, I don't
numbers
know if that's
ever.
why, bro.
And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
We had
I don't know where the
H2O.
hell he's been. The idea that anything he said is true. I've passed the most
I'm too
extensive,
high for Joe
most
to need
extensive
water
climate
this
change
bad.
legislation in history. In history, we find ourselves. And by the way, black
He did.
colleges. I came up with $15 billion for HBCUs, historic black universities.
That's true.
and
His
colleges,
Fortnite map had a
because they don't
historically
have
black college in
They
it.
don't have the kind of
Trump's did not.
contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just have the money, but now they'll be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have done something that had the cleanest water, he hadn't done a damn thing for the environment. He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately joined it because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius,
Start yelling shit at each other,
go
bro.
way back. The only existential threat to humanity is climate change, and he didn't do a damn thing about it. He wants to undo all that I've done.
The Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion, and China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States. And I ended it because I didn't want to waste that money because they treat us horribly. We were the only ones. It was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it. And it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that
Watch
got
the real
insulin
debate.
down
Let
for the
RFK
seniors.
have his
I
say.
took care of the seniors.
We were
What
pulling
he's
it up
doing
occasionally.
Is destroying all of our medical
hearing what
programs
RFK has to
because
say
the
on
migrants
occasion.
coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people. But we're destroying our country.
got the biggest
They're
heart on the
taking over
stage.
our schools,
I'm the
our
nicest guy.
hospitals, and they're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence who were not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything if we're not able to? The United States can't get its pollution.
Why aren't you on the stage?
One of the largest polluters in
I
the
don't
world.
gaff.
Number one. We're making significant progress.
This
By
country probably
2035,
deserves to
we will
burn.
have cut pollution in half. We have made significant progress, and we're continuing to make progress. We set up a climate corps for thousands of young people will learn how to deal with climate, just like the Peace Corps, and we're moving in directions that are going to significantly change.
That doesn't mean I don't want to see it succeed, though. I'm an American at heart. I'm a Mango fan.
He has the biggest heart.
I'll chant USA
concerned about
when it doesn't have racial undertones.
Pollution and about climate. I've not seen any indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
so every day, millions of Americans
Don't listen to the
struggle
rules.
just to make ends
And
meet.
by the
For many
way,
older Americans, Social Security
just
provides
finish
a
your
critical
thought, bro.
lifeline. President Biden, if nothing is done to Social Security, seniors will see their benefits cut in just over 10 years. Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take?
That actually made him seem weak. It really did.
yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Right now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea that they're going to, I've been proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one I would not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000. After that, I began to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share by increasing from 1% beyond to be able to guarantee the program for life.
Ooh. So you still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one enough will keep it solvent. But the biggest thing I'll do if we defeat this man, because he wants to get rid of Social Security.
Kill him.
He thinks there's plenty to cut in Social Security.
Kill him.
He wanted to cut Social Security and Medicare, both times. And and if you look at the program put forward by the House Republican caucus that I believe supports, is in fact want to cut it as well. The idea that
he's going to say he doesn't support that, but he literally does, though.
Ridiculous. And by the way, the American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before. And on the ACA,
You're rivaling Hassan and viewers right now? I know, bro. I'm the face of
400,000
political discourse on this website.
40 million people would
What
not
else
have
is new?
insurance because they have a pre-existing condition. Only thing that allows them to have that insurance is the fact that they, in fact, are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing is, we're in a situation where I talk about education for black communities. I've raised the amount of money for Pell Grants by another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year is going to be able to get $15,000 toward their tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking
Go
about.
on special
Thank you,
events, it
President
gets
Biden.
more
President
viewers. Nah, bro,
So I've
Drop's
dealt
only
with
enabled in just
politicians
chatting.
all
Who got
my
the
life.
Fall Guys
I've
skin,
been
by the
on
way?
this
You guys
side of
claim
the
it?
Equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He can look you in the face. About so many other things too. And we mentioned the laptop. We mentioned Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace.
He did say
But Social
that.
Security.
No, he
he's
did
destroying
say
it
that. You did
because
say
millions
that.
of people are pouring into our country, and they're putting them onto
They
Social
have you on
Security. They're putting them
camera.
onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street, and these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden?
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general got fired because he's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it, number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where all these millions and millions, the way he talks about it, illegal aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world, the reason why we have the most successful economy in the world. We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that
Boring.
if Trump's reelected, we're likely to have a recession and inflation is going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst president in history, 159 presidential scholars voted him the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
President Biden, thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of child care, which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue, but the average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child. For many families, the cost of child care for 2 children is more than very rich. In your second term, what would you do to make child care more affordable?
General got fired because he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than him. The other thing is, he doesn't fire people. He never fired people. I've never seen him fire anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI.
What do you do to make child
They
care
were no
more
good.
affordable?
Not easy to fire people.
I don't gaff.
They pay a price
I don't
for
think
it,
I'll have
but they
kids
were
in the
no
next
good.
4
I
years.
inherited these people. I didn't put him there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with that the Afghanistan horror show. The most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
I love watching old men argue.
No, we've had more embarrassing moments
than that. Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired?
I don't think it's the worst border in the history of the world either.
Many from mental institutions. Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. He's the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And I don't
Why doesn't Joe just be like, you're only running so your ass doesn't go to jail?
Wins this election,
you don't
our
gaff.
country doesn't have a chance.
Literally why you are running is so you can pardon yourself.
We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is.
Like,
He's
hello?
the worst in history by far.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden?
We're the most admired country in the world. We're the United States of America.
Can you get
There's
Trump
nothing
and
beyond our
Biden on the
capacity.
next
We're the
fortnight Friday
finest
for a
military in
real
the history of
debate
the
for
world.
the American
The
people?
finest in the history of
I'll
the
look
world.
into it.
No one thinks we're weak. No one wants to screw around with us. Nobody. Number one. Number two, the idea
USA.
that we're talking about worst
Can't
presidents.
fuck with us.
I wasn't joking. Look it up or go online. 159,
God bless
58
America,
to 100
USA,
exact number.
USA.
Presidential historians, they've had meetings and they voted who's the worst president in American history, one through best to worst. They said he was the worst in all of American history. That's a fact. That's not conjecture. He can argue they're wrong, but that's what they voted. The idea that he is knowing
Thank you to the
doing
historians.
anything to deal with child care. He did virtually nothing with child care. We should significantly increase the child care tax credit.
Yo, you know, got the News Nation stream. They got Stephen A. Smith. They had Chris Cuomo.
Single
Couple
parents
future
should be able to
Fortnite
go back
Friday, I
to work,
guess.
And we should encourage businesses to have.
Thank you, President
child care
Biden.
facilities.
President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care more affordable, if you want to take your minute.
Just so you understand, we have polling, we have other things that they rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me, I'll show you, I will show you. And they rate me one of the best, okay? And
actually,
if
no,
I'm
they
given
rate me the
another
best.
4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire.
He's just lying.
So everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I'd grow up and I'd see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst
Apple was
president in
famously
history by
not
far,
succeeding
and
before
everybody knows it.
2016.
President Biden?
Look, the fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about. He's increased the tariff. He will increase the taxes on middle-class people. I said I'd never raise a tax on anybody making less than $400,000. I didn't. But this tariff is 10% tariffs. Everything coming into the country, you know what the economists say? That's going to cost the average American $2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference.
Okay, viewers, you got to start being political again.
Number 2, he's in a situation where
I just play
he talks
games.
about how he has not raised. He's somehow helped the middle class. Middle class have been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. You had the largest deficit of any president in American history, number 1. Number 2, you have not, in fact, made any
He's kind of cooking them. You just can't tell because he's senile.
We are the lowest trade deficit with China since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden.
You lost
Thank you, President Biden. Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans that both of you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up. Under your term, it went up. Under your term, it has gone up. Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But do you notice he never took out my tariffs because we bring in so much money with
You need
the
more
tariffs
good
that I
ones like
imposed
that,
on
Joe.
China.
You need more
He
good
never
ones,
took them
bro.
away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our
Oh, what
steel
was that
industries, and
noise?
there was more to come.
That had to be
But he
Trump's
hasn't done
throat.
that.
Ew.
But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money.
Wait,
But
this
he's
is
got
so
the
good for
largest
Biden.
deficit
That noise
in the
was
history
nasty.
of our country, and he's got the worst situation with
That came
China.
from his neck, bro.
China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Jake, we were doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along. We had the 2.5, almost 3
Until the
years
COVID.
like nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way. And then we had to get tough. And it was the drugs pouring across the border it started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot. And we had
dog?
we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers.
You got
Then
one
he
dog?
came
Like,
along.
is it
The
Clifford?
numbers- have you seen the numbers now? It's not only
He
the
got
18
Clifford?
million people that I believe is even low because they
He has to be
gotaways,
talking
they
about
don't even
Clifford.
talk
I mean,
about
one
gotaways.
dog. That'd be a big one.
But the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across our border, The worst thing I've ever seen, at numbers that nobody's ever seen under him because the border's so bad. But the number of drugs coming across our border now is the largest we've ever had by far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden?
Fentanyl and the byproducts of fentanyl went down for a while.
Who are these guys?
And I wanted to make sure we use the machinery that can detect fentanyl. These big machines.
Lost my train of thought for this sub-message after
and
he
it costs
said
a lot
got
of
these
money.
performance
That was
enhancers,
part of
but
this
I'm feeling
deal we
pretty
put
jacked
together.
up.
This bipartisan deal. More fentanyl
Good one.
machines, more be able to detect drugs.
Good one, Joe.
More numbers of agents, more numbers of all the people at the border. And when we had that deal done, he called his Republican colleagues, said, don't do it. It's going to hurt me politically. No, he never argued it's not a good bill. It's a really good bill. We need those machines. We need those machines. And we're coming down very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have the technology to be able to put it together. That's what we have to
The
do.
fentanyl
We need
detection
those
machine.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, and again,
They're,
the
they're
question is
literally
about
just saying shit. Like, what the
Americans
fuck
in
are you
throes of
talking about? The
addiction right now,
fentanyl
struggling
detection
to get the
machine.
treatment they need.
They're just saying
this
shit.
does pertain to it. He ended remain in Mexico.
Like,
He ended
what
catch
even
and
are these
release.
issues
I
we're
made a
discussing? Like,
catch and
what?
release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so
You need
many
more
things that we
dog.
had done.
You need
Hard
more.
negotiations
Trump's
with
right on
Mexico,
that.
And I got it all for nothing.
More dog.
It's just like when you have a hostage. We always pay $6 billion for a hostage. Every time we say it's a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy. And he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking
I'm pretty
for
sure he
billions
called
of
him fake
dollars
news. Yeah, that
for
exact
the
reporter that I think
will
is
have him out
currently in prison.
very quickly. As soon as I take office, before I take office, I said by literally as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago. But Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases. We paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out.
I think we're paying money. I don't think Russia's like, we want $5 billion for this guy.
Let's turn to
I think they're like
concerns that
trading
voters
like
have
prisoners.
about each of you. President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
Love you from Brazil. Come to
First
Brazil.
of all, I
All right, here we
spent
go.
half my career being criticized as being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the oldest. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think
Okay.
just look at the record. Look at what I've done. Look how I've turned around
True.
the horrible situation he left me. As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing.
Tell him, Tommy.
By the way, we brought an awful lot of people. Well, the whole idea of computer chips. We used to have 40% of the market. We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending people to find the cheapest jobs overseas and then bring home a product. So I went to South Korea. I convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States, and guess what? Those fabs they call that to build these chips. Those fabs pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree for them. And there's billions, about $40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States, creating significant
What is
jobs
going on?
for Americans all over.
I don't know what
from
he's
all over the
saying.
world.
President Biden,
Something
you have
about how he's
40
fit to
seconds
serve
left. Would
president
you like
because
to
he
add
got
anything?
Samsung
Yeah, I
to
would.
make chips
The
here.
idea that somehow
Good enough
we
for me.
are this failing country. I never heard a president talk like this before. We're the envy of the world. Name me a single major country president who wouldn't trade places with the United States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities. We're the most progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world.
I don't know about
We're
that
the country
one.
in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us. All of our allies and those who he coddles up to, from Kim Jong-un, who he sends love letters to, and Putin, etc. They don't want to screw around with us.
Thank you. Former President Trump, to follow up, you would be 82 at the end of your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know.
I did really good
public.
on the
He took
cognitive
none.
test.
I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in
He
very
took a
good health.
BuzzFeed
I
quiz,
just won 2 club
They were good
championships,
ones.
not even senior. 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50
See,
yards.
you literally bring up his golf
I think
skills. This
I'm
is
in very
awesome.
good shape. I feel that I'm as
Please
in good
have a
shape
golf
as I was
match.
25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm
Please.
probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them.
Debate
Dr.
over
Ronnie
a game of
Jackson,
golf.
who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's what anyway, just take a look at what he says he is, and take a look at what he is.
What
I'd be
just
happy
happened?
to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6.
Joe fumbled the zinger.
And by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf with you if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8. But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
What are we
watching?
watching?
President Trump, we're going to turn
Let's not act like children.
to a specific concern that voters have about you.
True. Good one, Joe. You got one in. There it is.
All legal challenges have been
There you
exhausted,
go.
that you will accept the results of this election, regardless
take
of who
that.
wins. And you will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable.
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to. And I
It's
will
called
tell
X
you,
now, by the
nobody
way,
ever
yeah.
talks about
It's called
that.
X.
They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to
Called
the
X.
Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy
See
Pelosi
everything
said,
up.
it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free...
He's
and
saying
I
that
want
like his
more
Rose
than
Garden
anybody.
speech was
Now,
like
I'll
it's
tell you
there, but like
something.
there's video of him recording
he
the
was a great
Rose Garden
president,
speech
'cause
and
I
wanting to
wouldn't be
cut
here
out
right now.
saying that
I'd
like he
be
lost the
in
election.
one of my many places enjoying
Like he literally,
myself.
as
I
people are
wouldn't be
writing,
under
is like,
indictment
no, I don't
because
want to
wouldn't
say
have been
that.
his political opponent, because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was.
That's
a
not
great
how that
president.
works.
I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again.
No, you're
We're a
here
failing
because
nation right now.
you
We're
are a
seriously
felon.
failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
You want a World War III, let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. There's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is an attack on all, and required response. The idea, I can't think of a single major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done and what they've done. Because we are a powerful nation. We have wonderful people. It's because of the people, not me. It's because of the American people. They're
Bro,
capable of anything, and they
he
step
could get
up
him
and
on
lead
so
it.
much shit.
And right now,
And he just
we need it. We
says
need it
shit
to
that just
protect the
doesn't.
world because of our own safety is at stake. And again,
He's just not
you
saying
wanna have
shit.
a war, just let Putin go ahead and take
Like to your
you,
average dumbass,
each
him
day,
saying
move
like,
on,
"Oh,
see what
Article
happens in
5
Poland,
exists,"
Hungary,
just makes
and
him
other places
seem
along
more
that
likely to
border.
do World War III.
Then
Like
you
to your
have a
to your residential idiot
President
that's
Trump,
watching
as I
this.
come back to you
If
for a
anything, he
follow-up,
sounds worse.
The question was, will you accept the
'Cause people
results
don't think.
of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump. Nothing. He knew not to do it. He's not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started
Obama mentioned
with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked if I were
President Trump,
president.
the question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous.
That's what he said last
We'll
time.
have a news conference on it
If
in a
it's
week.
fair.
Or we'll have another one of these
If I
in a
win.
week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our
until you
country.
started
I
getting
would be
felony
very happy
convictions.
To be someplace else, in a nice location someplace. And again,
And I think
no
he always said he was going to run,
no
actually.
political opponent stuff.
Kelsey,
because
thank
it's
you.
the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand it.
Well, let's see what your numbers are when this election is over. Let's see. You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local, none. But you continue to provoke this lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all. And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
Sorry, I was on my phone. I got bored.
We'll be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate. Live.
Where's Robert? Man, he's up to 3 million viewers. I find that hard to believe.
CNN.
Persistent challenge is the climate crisis.
I find that hard to believe that he went up 2 million viewers
recorded history and
in
communities
like the past
the country
30 minutes.
are confronting the devastating effects of extreme heat, intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end
Isn't
your
it
opponent's
views?
climate initiatives.
Oh, I guess
but
so.
will you take any action
Maybe you're correct.
as president to slow the climate crisis?
Well, let me just go back
That's an
to what he
interesting
said about
figure they put there.
police, how close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group.
Wait, when the
and
fuck
what
was
he's
this
done
question?
to the black population is
Oh.
horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators
he's just on
was his
delay.
name, and he called it to them.
He's just
and
on
they've
big
taken
delay.
great offense at it, and now they see it happening. But when they see
Anything
what I did
else
for
I need to look at? They survey the Dr. K suicide hotline ads to the ConnorEatsPants viewers. Really? I didn't even know he had his own hotline. I didn't know that. X the everything app. 1v1 5 stock melee match. 5 stock? The fuck kind of rules?
I wish RFK.
Like, bro, Robert, refresh the stream, bro. You're falling behind, man. Refresh, refresh. Nah, episode 4 to The Boys was dog shit. Dog shit. And if you liked it, you really like slop, bro. You eat pig slop.
It is now time for
Go
the
watch my
candidates to
Mario
deliver
Kart
their
stream last
closing
week if you want to hear my
statements.
take. I went on a rant for
By a
35
coin
minutes.
toss, we're going to begin with you, President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
We've made significant progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term.
Yep.
We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit, number one. He's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did was, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare to...
Bro, he's so old, man. You can't run this guy. Like, you just can't. Like, what?
With the big pharma companies.
Like,
Well,
it has
guess
to be
what?
an inside job to, like, get
we got
Trump
a penalty
elected again. It has to be.
$15,
It's an inside job, bro. That's the real
instead of
conspiracy.
$400,
Anybody could
no
beat
more
that
than
motherfucker besides this guy.
For every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That
I'm beginning to think
reduced the
Kamala could beat him.
federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along, where it's happening now.
Let's not go
and
too
everybody
far.
in America.
Yeah, maybe
wants to
not.
Get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credit people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems for people across the country.
Fuck are you talking
We're gonna
about?
continue to fight
What do you
bring down inflation.
You mean the
and
lead
get people
pipes?
Thank you, President Biden.
Who's
President
talking
Trump, you
about the
have 2
lead
minutes for your
pipes?
closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we
He's
want
a
to do that, we
complainer.
want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened.
He didn't
Iran
stop
was broke.
Israel?
Anybody that
Okay.
did business with Iran, including
I think he
China,
misspoke,
they couldn't
but-
do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had
But
no money
accidentally
for Hamas
based.
or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville.
Yeah, those
This is 100
Palestinians
times
rioting all
1,000
over the
times.
place, dude.
The whole
What the fuck are
country
you
is
talking about?
exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs. But he's putting a lot of those regulations back on.
Or didn't he
All
just
of the
support
things that
Palestine?
we've done,
Guys, at the end of the day, he doesn't fucking know what it is. Like, y'all forget that. He doesn't even, he couldn't point out these places on a map.
Space-age materials instead of going to
He doesn't
Asia
fucking
or
know.
going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate.
No, I'm
Anderson
good.
Cooper and Aaron Burnett starts now on CNN.
I love this camera shot of them just standing there. Like, what are they supposed to do? Where's the music even? No music? Nothing? Can they walk off, please? Can they leave? What is this? Why are we? What is happening? What are we doing? OTK production.
The president and former president
Anderson
making their way
Cooper.
off the CNN debate stage. Looks like
Tell me
Joe
what to
Biden,
think.
The First Lady has come out. Former President Trump walking off the stage. The first debate of the 2024 campaign and the earliest presidential debate ever.
Oh my God,
now
Jill's
in
there.
The books and
Connor
in front of
Chatter.
the voters tonight, along with Aaron Burnett. The first word on
Popular
what those
Twitch
voters
chatter,
might
Jill
make of it
Biden.
from our political professionals from our CNN Flash Poll and Swing State Focus Group. We'll be talking to surrogates, including Vice President Harris, getting fact checks from our Daniel Dale, and
Let Jill run.
Inside both campaigns with me here, CNN political
Fuck it.
commentator
I
Scott
mean,
Jennings,
I'll take
Kate
it.
Bedingfield, David Urban, Van Jones, Alyssa Farr.
This is a bad. They can't do this, bro. It just makes all the fucking crazies lose it.
John, let me start with
This
you.
is so stupid. Like when Joe Biden goes up and handshakes these people, they're all gonna be like, "There it is, dude. It was an inside job. Prove like it."
Democratic Party.
It makes those
started
people
minutes
lose
into
their
the debate,
fucking
and
mind.
It continues right now. It involves party strategists. It involves elected officials. It involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations
Tune into the
about
Daily
the president's
Wire.
performance,
Pull it up.
which they think was dismal.
Yeah,
which they think
I don't
will
need to
hurt
see
other people
CNN's.
down the
Where's
party in the ticket,
where's the
and they're
Daily
having
Wire's
conversations.
coverage? Where's what the fuck is this that's recommended to me?
Joe Biden's not going to be running in November. It's not going to be Joe Biden. There's no
Who is
chance.
this
The
guy?
guy's cooked. This is the worst I've ever seen Joe Biden.
He might be right.
slurring his words, completely lost.
Where's the Daily Wire?
On actual issues. I mean, he did. Trump clocked the living crap out of him on immigration. That was really the big one. He just kept punching him. He clocked him on the Middle East, punched him. He
On
clocked
entitlements even?
on entitlements. But
Oh my God! Wait, we just got so
debates are
many
moments,
gifted on YouTube
right?
again.
That's what they are.
I am gay.
4 years on,
gifted
you don't remember the
20,
whole debate. You
40,
remember the policy.
60,
You remember
80
the moments.
subs,
You remember
dude,
Mitt
80
Romney
members.
being told by Barack Obama in 2012 that the 80s called and they want their foreign policy back. Or you remember Donald Trump saying in 2016 to Hillary Clinton that if I were president,
Oh
you'd
my
be in jail.
God.
Or you remember Biden in 2020 saying to Trump that he should shut up. In this one, the only takeaways, the only moments are Trump saying, one, I have no idea what the hell you just said at the end of that sentence. Right? That was a huge one.
And I don't think you do either, he said.
Yes, and I don't think you do either. Him mocking the 6 handicap by saying he can't hit the ball 50 yards. Right? It's all
The
of that
zingers were
stuff.
pretty good, even when Biden said, I beat Medicare. He said, yeah, you beat it to death.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
that's,
one.
no, that's the thing.
Yes.
Even
We all love the
less than
zingers
the
here.
zingers. It's Biden. The debate was over really from the moment he walked out, wandering out.
Smoke your cigars,
Slack-jawed,
dude.
just the way
They're
he
not
presented
even eating their
himself. The debate was already over.
food.
10 minutes in, when he tried to give an answer and he trailed off and couldn't even string together a sentence, what
This guy
Biden
looks
needed to do was
terrible, bro.
avoid a moment like that because, as
This
you
is
said,
who
it's really all
Nickmercs
about
listens
moments.
to, by
There's
the
going to
way.
be like one viral moment to come out of this.
Put on Ghost
That's going to be the
Simulator.
moment when he trails off and can't finish a sentence. And the ironic thing is that it was a little bit of the reverse of what we said, where actually we thought that Biden would come
That's
out
just
juiced
too
up
much
on
beard,
drugs and then he
bro.
would
It
trail
really
off at
is.
the end. He
Like,
actually
it's the kind
improved
of
a little bit
beard
in
that
the
just
final-
says,
in
like,
the
I'm
final 30 minutes.
covering
A
my
little bit.
face.
You know, I
Like,
agree with you.
like,
I
it's
But it
a
doesn't matter because
shameful
by that
beard.
point,
It's a
it was
shameful
over.
I
beard.
have a
It's like, I don't want you to
neuroscientist friend,
see
brain
my
surgeon, who was
jawline.
texting me during the debate, and he said they probably hit him too close to time. Right? They probably shot him up too close to time. Like he needed a little lead time. And so what ended up happening is you saw it. He trailed off at the end also. His closing statement,
This is
he was
awesome.
dead again.
Yeah.
But he had about like a 35-minute lucid period, which happens in stage 3, stage 4 dementia. But
They're discussing
again,
how
the takeaway
they
from this
juiced him up,
is
bro. I
that
don't think
this
he was
man is-
juiced, bro. I don't think he was juiced. I got bad news. Is Rumble back? What about Rumble? The Rumble coverage available? Oh my God, Rumble's back. I probably can't watch the Steven Crowder stream. That'll get banned on you. We'll watch Tim Pool. These numbers are not real, by the way. These numbers are not real. I mean, Russell Brand's got 33K. Tim Cass with 186K. A 43K live. 200K live for Steven Crowder. The Dan Bongino show with... You're lying, bro.
Watch what protein shakes do to your body.
What
This
is
is a protein.
What's an
drink.
ad?
You've got almond butter.
Watch what steak does to your gut. The carnivore diet. Why do people
What are
lose
these
weight
Rumble
so
ads?
rapidly?
Okay, he's not even live. Oh my God.
New homeowners. Congrats on your purchase.
Wait, I want to watch this
But
Rumble
have
ad.
you considered an essential item you might need beyond the basics? If you want to stay safe in your new home, let me show you one of the not so obvious things that all new homeowners
What is this shit
should
ad?
have. If disaster strikes, It's on you to
This
keep
ad
your
is
family
terrible.
and home safe. That's why the first thing a new homeowner must have on their list is backup power, like a solar generator. In case of a power outage, a beefy solar generator, like the Patriot Power 2000X,
Holy shit.
can
The
provide backup power
Patriot
to keep your essential appliances running.
These
And I'm not
things
talking
are
about
like-
the little stuff. I'm talking
I
about the
can't-
big
yeah,
boys,
these
like
things
a
are real.
dishwasher, CPAP machine.
The Trumpinator bobblehead is on the dashboard of Trump's private jet. Wow. Do Misc viewers get these ads when he streams on there?
It's amazing. And then Trump's like, that's a lot. Maybe an 8.
Yeah. I just think Joe Biden inspires no hope, and he symbolizes death and despair. And his whole career has been that way. He's used grief. He's exploited his own grief throughout his entire career. And I truly see, like, it's hard for me to imagine the election because we're in such an absurd world. I see him bowing out, trying to do it gracefully, appealing to sympathies of the people, saying, as, you know, summoning all the grief of his entire career.
I am voting
and being
for the
"I'm gonna bow out
working
now 'cause
brain."
I'm too old. I'm going to take care of my family. I'm going to move on to the next people to inspire hope. That's the only thing I imagine happening. Him bowing out, trying to make it sound stoic.
Tomorrow's Timcast IRL, tomorrow at 8 p.m., it's
MAGA
probably going to
pride.
be
MAGA
wild.
is dead.
The analysis, the polling.
Yeah.
We are going to start getting first responses from focus groups. Like even Frank Luntz's focus group was like, no Biden. This is incredible stuff. It is going to be a new day tomorrow. That's why many people are outright saying, Newsom, like this is going to be it. So let's continue final thoughts and then chat your stuff out. Let's roll.
So the New York Times.
Hate Speech by Andrew Tate.
You need your handheld. You need your handheld because when you first escape the Matrix, you're lost in the ether.
He refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
They're
First
so
of all, that
cool
was a
with their
made-up
cigars.
quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that
Fake
up.
news.
He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19...
The horse shit. This guy's talking shit, and they're going to rig it.
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential
I want to hear
debate.
their take.
How long does this go on for? Why am I bored? I shouldn't be bored. This is for the fate of the nation. I shouldn't be bored.
He's in
Read the rest of the
Romania.
super
What
chats.
does
I'm
he
bored.
talk? It's not your nation.
Oh, we can kill kids at this age. Oh, we can kill kids at that age. Fucking
Probably
tear
be
down the
careful.
pride
He might
flags.
just
Bill.
start saying shit. I gotta be careful. He might just start slinging it now that I think about it. I'm gonna turn him off. You're watching entertainment on a screen and you're still bored for real. That's a good point, Super Tom. That's a good point. Well, that was the debate. Sorry about that. Hope you enjoyed. I sure didn't. Hell stream. Overwatch? Nah. Mario Kart? Hunger Games time? No. Now Mario Kart, the YouTube video will bang. Will it though? I don't even think that, but are you just depressed? A little bit. The only time that I can buy your 2.5k viewers you can't end. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I'm fucked up. It's the real me when I'm fucked up. Yeah. Fortnite Festival. I don't even feel like gaming on anything, bro. Console Valorant, too long to set up. They added duos to reload mode. Well, that's good. That's good. Teemo mid. No league either. Nah, I think I'm just going to be done for the day, fellas. I'll regroup tomorrow. Surely you guys all come back tomorrow for the normal stream, not just the presidential debate. I'm going to rest my voice, take some cough syrup. I've been playing a lot of Poke Rogue still off stream. Maybe we'll do some of that soon. Fair 2 days in a row stream. That's not even true. I didn't even stream yesterday. I did not beat the can't stream 3 days in a row allegations because I didn't stream yesterday. I couldn't clear them. RFK stole your Pokimane bit from 2020. Yep. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to pave the way and you don't get to reap the rewards.
Pitch to her.
She's doing her late night show. I could raid Cutie. I think I raided Cutie during her late night show last week too, though. No, I didn't. Maybe I did. I don't remember what the fuck I did. You love Cutie? All right, I'll raid Cutie. Abel was so real for this song, though. I really was, bro. When I'm fucked up, I'm the real me. Thanks for all the subs and donos today, guys. I see you tomorrow for a normal gaming stream. Be there or be square. You don't want to be square, bro. You don't want to be in that category. All right, thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow, I think. Bye-bye.